I don't know. Tim Walz is out there talking again.
Did you say he could fight any Trump supporter?
Yeah, he says he kicked their and they're scared of him because he could fix a truck. Like they're threatened by his masculinity. I know how to fix a truck. That's what he said. I'm like, do you? I bet you don't.
The lady doth protest too much.
I bet you don't.
I fear.
I bet if I bring a broken truck to you and a bag of tools, you're
Joe Rogan exposed Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as the height of mediocrity with a vicious roast. From Walz's photo-op politics and tough guy persona to his constant uncertainty and drab speeches, Rogan destroyed every element of Walz's painstakingly constructed image. Instead of being portrayed as a fearless leader, he was portrayed as a substitute teacher who was having difficulty with roll call while the classroom was on fire. It was more than just a takedown. It was a masterclass in revealing political insignificance.
He believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13.
So for those out there who are wondering, aren't there something else you could be doing or doesn't seem to impact you in your life? This is what it means to show empathy. This is what it means to be welcoming.
He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like a Somali flag. You ever seen that?
But our current flag is problematic. I think we all know that. We've evolved into a more diverse state, and I think it's more reflective of.
It was akin to putting a deer in front of a spotlight when Joe Rogan attacked Tim Walz. Suddenly, every awkward tick, every questionable decision, and every ostentatious political gesture was brutally visible. Walz has made his career out of being the man who wants to look like the steady, responsible adult in the room. The politician behind the Midwestern dad act, however, is as inspirational as a microwave TV supper, Rogan pointed out, shattering that facade.
That Tim Walz cocksucker, if that guy got into power, like if Kamala died and Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, was our president, you know how crazy this country would be? That weirdo who puts tampons in the boys' room, and what about our joy? Like he's a complete pathological liar. Like a complete liar. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square, lied about being a fucking head coach of a football team.
If you like this video, please click the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. Walz loves to use his background as a coach, teacher, and military veteran as if he's unstoppable. But the myth-making was too much for Rogan. He criticized the idea that just because Walz had taught geography in high school, he was somehow qualified to guide a state through calamity. You don't necessarily know how to handle a financial crisis just because you can name the capital of Nebraska. And coaching a football team is not the same as leading millions of people through a crisis.
Well, there's more than one thing, too, right? He said he was a head coach.
Yeah, he was a head coach. He
was not a head coach. He was an assistant coach, which is an honorable thing. There's nothing wrong with being an assistant coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he also inflated his actual rank, right? He was slated to achieve a certain rank.
Right.
And how did it go? Like he had to commit to the fact that he wasn't going to retire in order to achieve his rank? Is that what it was?
He didn't finish essentially the program, the coursework, for a command sergeant major.
Next is Walz's perspective on conflict. He tries to give long, reflective answers, but they end up sounding like a high school principal explaining why Pizza Day had to be canceled. The lengthy silences, the well-chosen sentences, and the attempt to seem intelligent but say nothing were all mocked by Rogan. Rather than making bold decisions, Walz gives politically insensitive lectures. Blonde, beige, and guaranteed to put you to sleep in the middle.
False Somali
But
state
what does
flag
it look? Okay, but what does it look like now?
That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay, on the left is Somali flag. On the right is the Minnesota state flag. Okay, same color as Somali flag. A white star, a different white star in it, like the Somali flag. Very different than the original Minnesota flag. And there's the video down below that. That's when he changes it out.
In addition, Walz's crisis management instincts are comparable to a man using his phone torch to struggle in a pitch-black cellar. Rogan harshly criticized Walz's response during the chaos in Minneapolis in 2020, saying that he let everyone down at the same time by appearing to be in control of the situation while it was blowing up all around him. He was too slow, too unsure, and too nervous. Rogan compared it to seeing someone try to put out a fire with a spray bottle of carbonated water. No results after a lot of work.
Yeah, that's all it is, obviously. There's video of Tim Walz doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Exact same thing. And he said, of course, it's a Nazi salute. He said that.
Having them trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did.
This is how crazy things have gotten. Like,
it's coordinated propaganda.
Walz's efforts to look tough only. He tends to highlight his credentials and boast about his military service whenever things get shady. Rogan didn't let him get away with it. He joked that Walz interrupts conversations about his National Guard experience, like a man at the gym who never stops telling everyone that he used to press 3 plates in college. To be sure, he served, but that doesn't mean that every awkward political ploy was a calculated strategic choice. Being in uniform once does not make your current policy any less disastrous.
That's when he changes it out. So he takes out the Minnesota state flag. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Turn the volume up, please. So you hear him say that?
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
So he gets the flag, picks it up, moves it out of the way, and replaces it. Look at this.
There, that's better.
Is it?
Why is that better?
I don't know.
Why do you care what the flag looks like, first of all? And why do you get to change the flag? How crazy is that the governor gets to change the flag? Like, who else is involved in that decision to change the flag?
Is that what happened?
Walz's political philosophy is less about having a big idea and more about fitting in. Rogan shredded his speeches, which typically appear to have been pre-approved by a risk assessment team and 5 committees. It sounds like the goal of Walz's speech is to say as much as possible in the fewest words. Rogan described it as word salad with a Midwestern accent, a collection of cliches that could be easily woven into any political platform.
These motherfuckers get in charge one more time. I mean, they were talking about cracking down on hate speech online. Like, that free speech is not hate speech. That Tim Walz guy was actually saying that.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Hate speech. Free speech does not include hate speech. Like, what are you, by whose fucking definition? Yours? A guy who thinks tampons should be in the boys' room?
Rogan compared it to watching someone build a homemade rocket out of soda bottles. Despite having a lot of energy, it cannot fly. Walz's efforts to be motivational are also unsuccessful. He tries to give talks about fortitude and unity, but Rogan pointed out that they have the emotional impact of a voicemail reminder from a dentist. Instead of feeling inspired after a Walz speech, everyone feels like they need to take a nap.
When they decided that J.D. Vance was weird.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
And then they just weirds everywhere.
Weird. Oh, you don't want a weird guy. Meanwhile, you have fucking Tim Walz. Is your VP?
Weird.
You don't think that guy's weird?
Super weird.
He's weird in every way.
Yeah.
The way he walks, the way he waves his hands.
Yeah, he reminds me of the clown emoji.
He's a bizarre guy.
He's a strange dude.
I just don't
Gives me the
understand why
willies,
they made
actually.
that choice.
Yeah, it gives the creeps.
I just don't understand why they made that choice. There's a lot of other people that are qualified. I don't know why. I read that Kamala Harris made that decision when she was sleep deprived, which is kind of hilarious that she said that. So she's kind of admitting she kind of fucked.
The most humorous part is Walz's attempt to appear knowledgeable and approachable. He wants to be an intelligent leader who is also a regular Midwesterner. But Rogan exposed the truth. He is unrelatable because most people do not use focus group jargon. He is also not intelligent because most leaders don't spend half of their time explaining why they haven't taken action sooner.
Because everything that we called misinformation just a few years ago, it's on the front page of the New York Times now that we were lied to.
You can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. There has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power.
The New York Times just printed a thing. Turns out we were lied to.
They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
Yeah, you lied to us. Yeah. You were a part of it.
Then came Walz's obsession with photo ops. Rogan ridiculed Walz's persistent seeming preoccupation with attention rather than action. He's the one who tries to appear like a conscientious leader at a press conference while sporting rolled-up sleeves, but everyone knows that he just showed up after getting notes from a staff member. Rogan says Walz has mastered the art of looking busy while doing absolutely nothing.
What do you think about Walz's descriptions of his military career? Because there's some issues there that people have. I don't know if he flat out ever said that he served in Afghanistan, but he certainly didn't dissuade people from saying that he was, when they were saying he didn't correct them.
Right.
There was things.
He didn't, and he didn't.
Rogan also focused on Walz's weak attempts to achieve national prominence. Every time Walz tries to take the stage, he gets smaller. He wants to sound like a heavyweight, but instead he sounds like an undercard fighter hitting shadows. Watching someone bring potato salad to a 5-star restaurant is like watching Walz try to impress a national audience.
Look at this.
There, that's better.
Is it?
Why is that better?
I don't know.
Why do you care what the flag looks like, first of all? And why do you get to change the flag? How crazy is that the governor gets to change the flag? Like, who else is involved in that decision to change the flag?
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Usually it's a big event. They let people pick.
Rogan tore apart Walz's constant attempts to present himself as balanced, as if taking no stance is admirable. It simply creates the impression that he is a man who is always sitting on a fence because he is afraid of falling to either side. He is neutral, boring, and totally irrelevant. Rogan called him the Switzerland of American politics. Tim Walz doesn't stand out because he has the guts to do so, as Rogan's roast ultimately demonstrates. He clings to the center out of fear of danger, fear of being bold, and fear of upsetting anyone. But in politics, that kind of safety backfires. A leader gradually loses visibility when they remain silent. Walz is in that exact spot, in the title, but not in the effect.